Hi, Analisa 6 here with the December 2022 horoscope for Libra, Sun, and Rising. Hi, Libra. How have you been? Communication and education and learning and teaching and all of the things that you like have been a big theme for you in the last month. And this coming month, it seems like that's not going to be too much different. There is definitely some shifts happening, but you're still going to be in kind of a period of really gathering a lot of information or wanting to disseminate a lot of information based off of where Mars Gemini is transiting in the horoscope chart. So we start out the month with Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius, and where this has been for you in November from a horoscope perspective, it's really been impacting how you communicate your ideas and your beliefs with other people, and in a positive way. This could be a time where you feel like the wisdom or the knowledge that you have has definitely been evolving and maybe elevating. Even some of your own personal belief systems might have been kind of shifting and changing in a way that expands your own perception of reality or your own beliefs in a way that's fun. Like it should be, with Venus there, it should feel good. It should be really fun. Mars retrograde in Gemini could have added maybe some hardness in some of the communication dynamics, but hopefully Venus has been there to kind of help smooth some of that over in a way that is positive for you. As December, well, before I guess we get into more of the month of December, let's just talk about the full moon that's happening in the first week of December. We have the full moon in Gemini at 16 degrees. That's going to be hitting the area of your chart that does have to do with how you experience the world and your belief systems. And so there's a few things that can happen with a full moon in this part of the chart. But when we add a conjunction to Mars, Mars is that action-oriented energy that can be very combative and kind of explosive, but also can be assertive and initiatory, right? And I think that one of the things that I feel that is pretty across the board for Libra in terms of like a big generalization, so not every Libra, but a lot of Libras, is a lot of indecision, right? I think one of the things, I have so many Libras in my life and I love you all. I love Libra energy. It's great for my Leo energy. But one of the things that drives me a little crazy with y'all is that you have a really hard time sticking to one idea. And sometimes your ideas change so frequently, it's hard for you even to remember what you said the day before because of how fast you could change your mind. Libra can be a really indecisive energy, and that can be really hard for those of us that know what we want, know what we like, or are more decisive. And so with Mars and Gemini in this particular area of the chart, it doesn't necessarily help you in being more decisive, but it could help you in kind of seeing the multiple ways that you have a hard time making those decisions, the reasons why, and maybe kind of more of the areas that you want to go in moving forward when it comes to your ideas and your thoughts and your belief systems. So it's kind of an interesting energy because Mars and Gemini is kind of similar. It's kind of scattered. It's kind of all over the place. But when we have a full moon, we're in a position where we're ready to make a shift or a change, or we're letting some kind of thing go. And for where it's hitting in the Libra rising, Libra sun horoscope is our belief systems and how we relate to the world. And so you might kind of be in this position where you feel like it's hard for you to know what your thoughts or your beliefs are, because they're changing so constantly. It's fluid, maybe. And, that's one of the things I like about Libra is that despite some of the frustrations around the indecisions that can be there, you're really good at seeing both sides or all sides to something, right? And so I like that personally. Because I think it's my Sagittarius energy, because I think that things are not black and white. I don't think things are fixed, and I think that that's justice, right? Is seeing the facts and seeing kind of what's there, but seeing it from all sides. And I think Libra is really good at doing that. And one of the things that's beneficial for you in reflecting on your own life and your own belief systems this year and through this full moon is maybe letting go or releasing this idea that it has to be one way or the other. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you don't need to decide what side you're on or conform to some kind of idea that society has of what you think you're supposed to do, right? And I see that with some of my Libra friends too, where there can be a conflict of like, well, I think I'm supposed to be this way, so I'm going to try to be this way, even though I don't necessarily feel that way. So you might be open to just kind of knowing that you're a fluid person. I think a lot of Gemini and Libra people in general are very fluid with beliefs and maybe other things in life too. And maybe this is about you accepting more of that in yourself rather than trying to contort yourself to fit one ideology, because that's just not you. That's not who you are. So that's a big part of the full moon theme. And you might feel an inkling too to get out of town and get around some new people that have some maybe similar beliefs to you, but maybe are different in a way that expands your mind in a way that's fun and interesting and exhilarating for you. Once we get to the end of the month, we have our full moon, or I'm sorry, our new moon. I'm getting dyslexic with the full moon, new moon stuff because I'm on the 7th sign and the 7th video. So I've already talked about 6 signs and I'm starting to tongue twister a little bit. So I apologize. But our new moon at the end of the month is December 23rd at 1 degree Capricorn. And so the area that this is going to be influencing the chart, and again, Capricorn, sorry if I'm jumping around a little bit, but I just want to emphasize that Capricorn squares Libra. So that's a tense energy. It's creating tension in the chart. And so there can feel like there's a lot of pressure. And this Capricorn energy, you're going to start feeling the Capricorn energy after the first week of December. So we're going to have that full moon that's in Gemini. And then Mercury and Venus are going to be entering Capricorn. And it's actually going to be an energy that really brings you into kind of wanting to connect to yourself in a deeper way. This is affecting the area of the chart that represents home and family. And again, Capricorn has to do with tradition. So we might be feeling a lot of nostalgia around family and the way that we want to connect to it. So it's good for you to lean into, you know, kind of whatever traditions. I've been talking a lot about traditions, but Venus and Mercury and Capricorn, and in some of these placements that represent family or home, they can bring those things up for us. So that might be something that we feel like we want to connect to more, is our hearth, our home, our sense of family. And then when this new moon happens on the 23rd at 1 degree Capricorn, it's squaring Libra. So it's creating some tension. So what could potentially happen is that who we are, you know, the Libra, who you are in yourself, in your identity, there might be tension with how you're relating to the family ancestral lineage or the expectations that the family has of you. And so meeting those expectations while saving your autonomy might feel hard. Because it's a new moon, though, we also have this inclination to want to set intentions towards a new dynamic. And so one of the positive things for you about this new moon, despite some of the tension, is that through that tension, through maybe seeing ancestral patterns or family dynamics that you don't want to cultivate anymore, you can set an intention towards something new that you want to bring into your life when it comes to how you relate to family or home. The other part of that could be positive is starting new traditions for yourself when it comes to holidays or anything. I mean, I am projecting a lot of the holiday because December, that's what it is, you know. And I think what can happen a lot of times, sorry, I'm stretching my back out while I'm talking. A lot of times what can happen during the holidays, I know this happened for me just with Thanksgiving, but we can be in this place of kind of maybe thinking that we should do something a certain way because we've always done it that way, or it's a tradition. And maybe we're doing it and it just doesn't resonate for us anymore. Maybe we're like, you know, I don't really want to spend my holiday like this. I don't want to spend my holiday connecting to family in this way, or friends in this way, or myself in this way. And it's time for me to set some new expectations or some new traditions for myself moving forward. That's probably going to come up for you at the end of the month when you're reflecting on the holidays, because this transit, the new moon happens right leading up to Christmas. And obviously not everybody watching this might be Christian. You might celebrate a different holiday, but you know, it's kind of ingressing towards that. And then by the time that Mercury stations retrograde on the 29th, we're going to be reflecting a lot on how everything played out over the end of the year. And what about it were we not necessarily in alignment with? How do we make changes into the new year that are more in alignment with who we are? And so where that's impacting Libra the most is in your relationship to your family, your home and any ancestral lineage, and then how that directly impacts your sense of self and how you relate to yourself. And your own ideologies and belief systems, right? With that Mars retrograde there. I think it's really important for Libra to empower itself with its own thoughts rather than feeling the need to absorb or project those of others, because I think Libra can be a mirror a lot of times for other people without realizing it, or can just want to absorb one thought one day and then absorb a completely different thought or idea the next day. And again, like, I think it's good for Libra to embrace the ability to see all sides and be super fluid. But I also think it's important sometimes, because what happens, the reason why Libra gets so indecisive is because it wants to choose what is the right way. Brissy, my dog barking at squirrels. It wants to choose the right path or the right way. And it's important, I think, for the indecisive individual to remember that when you're somebody that can see all sides of something and can see why there's multiple paths or multiple right ways, it's always going to be a choose your own adventure. It's always going to be like, well, I could have done that. Maybe that would have been the right way. I don't really believe that there's a right or a wrong way always. I think it's just, you have to get really in touch with your heart and do what feels best in your heart, even if sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's not always perceived as the right way by others. So getting clear on that in yourself and kind of blocking out maybe some of other people that are distracting you from that is important, while also being open. You know, like I said, for the beginning of the month, it might be really fun to be open to learning from others and be more open-minded about things. So those are big themes for you for December. Libra, that's your December horoscope. Good luck.